What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. We're live streaming to Twitch right now with kind of a chill stream. We're actually playing video games, and I got news. I have to stop everything that we have new Darklords, so I definitely have to see what's going on here. But you see Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization actually talking about, I wonder if the YCS Darklords sweepstakes has anything to do with this. The USA is actually doing this giveaway for prize cards, and it's pretty easy to enter overall, but you can only enter for my US viewers, I believe, / North American viewers, so you're going to want to go ahead and check out the sweepstake rules, eligibility, all that stuff. But you can check this out over on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization and see if it applies to you. Pretty easy to enter, and maybe you can win yourself a pretty nice valued set of a collector's prize card that goes along with today's news. That being said, let's go ahead and get into these reveals. A lot of people are anxious to see if it works with Nurse Raficule, with the new Link monster. Of course, I want to see if it works with the forbidden stuff. Let's see what we've got here. This is Kiraku no Tenshi, Darklord of Enjoyment. I probably murdered that name. Level 4 Dark Fairy effect monster, so normal summon's always good, but 0 attack. 1600 defense. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. During the main phase quickie, you can immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon one fairy monster face up. Extra tributing for any fairies? I like it. I'm thinking Tethys already. I'm thinking other Christia, of course. I'm thinking much different things than just Darklords, and this is searchable by name. I'm kind of scared of randomly searchable things that are splashable. Hopefully the next effect is more Darklord-centric. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can have all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense for each fairy monster on the field to the end of the turn. This feels like generic fairy support. So you have like Valhalla, Hecatrice, other things that works with those, but you always want extra options, and generic fairy support seems very interesting to me. It's something that hasn't been visited in a very long time. So it's Darklord by name, making it even more searchable, yet goes out there for extra tribute summoning. So just throws it out if you couldn't Valhalla something for some reason. Alright, we got the Darklord of Pleasure. Ooh. This is Etsuraku no Tenshi, level 4 Dark Fairy effect monster, attack 1600 defense 0, so swapping with the enjoyment into pleasure. The themality here, Konami. Ugh. You can only use this card's name effect once per turn if this card is normal or special summoned. You can take 2 Darklord monsters with different levels from your hand and or deck, except Darklord of Pleasure, and special summon one of them to your opponent's field in defense position, and then add the other to your hand. You cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn, except fairy monsters. So this one is much more Darklord-centric, can work with the new one. So, normal or special, you take 2 different level Darklords, and you just go, bleh, you get one, me, I get the other 2 hands. So it's a searcher, but there's probably a purpose in giving your opponent a card like this, I have to imagine. And it could be anything. Again, the 0 attack stuff, maybe it won't even matter to them. It's unlikely. Mirror matches, quick effect, tribute summon immediately. That being a quickie, that does mean either player's turn, doesn't it? Quick effect you can immediately. I didn't catch on to that at first. Nice. Mirror matches are going to be weird. Alright, we got Darklord Nergal, aka the Tenshi Nergal. A level 8 Dark Fairy effect monster. So those big levels we're more used to, but we want more normal summons in Darklords, I assume. Attack 2700, defense 2500. You can only special summon Darklord Nergal once per turn. You can only activate this card's second effect once per turn. Fairy monsters you control inflict piercing damage. Oh boy, the modern age. If they attack a defense position monster. Second effect, quick effect. You can pay 1,000 life points, target a Darklord spell or trap in your graveyard, apply the target's effect, then shuffle the target into the deck. That's pretty par the course, right? Like, that's what a lot of them already have. So it does piercing, and it's another level 8. Maybe I'm missing something, but this isn't the most hype. I like the other 2 more so far. Enjoyment and pleasure. Let's get into the fusion here. I was spoiled that a fusion did exist, so I found that interesting. Lucifer, Darklord of Morningstar, is a level 12 Dark Fairy fusion effect monster, attack 4000, defense 4000. Materials, 3 Dark Fairy monsters specifically. You can only use either this card's first or third effect once per turn and only once that turn. Do they have a specific, like, fusion card? There's one more card revealed. Maybe it's in here. If this card is fusion summoned using Darklord Morningstar as a material, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Well, that's kind of hyperactive. I'm going to get rid of everything. Okay. Second effect, fairy monsters you control cannot be targeted by opponent's card effect, so that would include himself. And the third effect here, during the main phase, quick effect, you can pay 1,000 life points, special summon a fairy from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So everything is good about him, but it feels like a little too late. Like, yeah, oh, John, you're downplay. He destroys everything when you fuse this way, and then can't be targeted, and the rest of your fairies. This is actually probably the best thing. The targeting protection for everybody is pretty darn good. But despite all three being such wins, I'm trying to see how you're going to fuse this together consistently and do it well. Maybe my mind's just not there for the deck yet. You do end up loading the graveyard very fast in the deck. Maybe Necrofusion or something weird? I'm trying to think. Rebellious Darklord, normal trap card. You can only have one card with this card's name per turn. Send a Darklord monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. There it is. Fusion summon a Darklord fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control or have in the hand as fusion materials. Then gain life points equal to the combined attacks. So for all your hard work in this trap card's activation, you gain life points. Ah, man, advantage is not the strong suit, is it here? So you have to send a Darklord monster from hand or face up from field to graveyard to begin. And then you can only use from your hand / from hand / field, huh? Control or in hand. I don't like the payoff of the trap. I think you'd have to figure out other ways. It's too slow. It's better as a spell, says chat. Yeah, something's off. Something's weird. You got to figure out an out-of-archetype way to do this. It doesn't get the N-archetype fusion. He does a ton. I'm not trying to underplay him. Getting a field wipe on top, having to play Morningstar, oh no. Doing a field wipe on top of targeting protection for everybody, which can be very annoying depending what you pair it with, on top of the special summon from graveyard. All of it sounding real nice, and that could be Christia. You could have sent Christia or something. I'm assuming this deck will be trying that out more than anything. The fusion is nice, but man, the payoff is 3 fairy monsters, and this doesn't help you, like, abuse your graveyard or anything like that. So it does feel like you have to go out of your way. I like, and still, Enjoyment and Pleasure are 2 cards that I really like. More so Enjoyment because it's generic fairy support on top of what Valhalla already does for things. It may feel redundant to some people, but I think whenever you have multiple ways to get to the same route, that's what you like to do in a deck, because you're not always going to see Valhalla or Hecatrice. So this is another way to get Tethys going. This is another way to do really cool fairy things from back in the day and maybe moving into the future. It's only 1 tribute though, so it doesn't really help you out with the 8s. I know that you wanted to say a couple things, Mage Power. What do you think of these cards? You there? Mage Power seems silent. I have open chat open, and this guy said he had things to share on the archetype, but he seems busy. For me, I do like more card design like this, but it tends to get broken in Yu-Gi-Oh! When it becomes too generic. Typings do need some love. We've seen them have to be so careful with zombies, though, because of how they originally made stuff like Mizuki, how they made Unizombie. They've had to be more careful and practical with card design, so you can't build stuff that becomes fan favorites that, you know, tie to the typing so much that you have to tiptoe around them always. This doesn't feel like this. This feels like a really good balance. It's just scary to me when you see card design like this, whereas this is much more specific. You end up giving them the kind of cards, and I still don't see the reason for giving them the card. I don't see the reason for handing it over to them yet. Oh, Mage Power's in chat. Discord's not working right. I'm sorry. That's the thing about doing live videos. Sometimes when you do it live, it ain't always gonna go too smoothly. Well, that's my opinions overall on this typing. I'd like to see an easier way to summon this bad boy. Maybe Necrofusion is at the front of my mind. I actually saw a Frightful player playing that with Trap Trick, so that was pretty interesting. Maybe that's a way to go. I just really don't know. It's so much in terms of, like, trying to prepare yourself for at least this version of the card that you would be searching in archetype. So you'll have to find other ways to go about it. Payoff is huge, but I don't know if it's worth the resources. I don't see it yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. I made the mistake of eating pecans and jerky before starting this video while streaming, so sorry if things are flying out of my mouth or whatever, but very professional YouTuber and streamer. There's your Darklord support. It is pretty interesting.